Hello everyone. Now in this session I'm going to explain you how to create a custom callback in JavaScript. Okay. Now it is not a callback function, that means function calling itself. It is not like that. But over here we are assigning one function as a parameter to another function. Okay. Now how this concept come into picture? Now you probably know that everything in JavaScript, just like string, object, array, these all are the object. Okay, so is function is object? Yes. Okay, that's why. So the next question is, can we pass object to function as a parameter? The answer is yes. Okay, so whenever we pass this function as a parameter to some another function, then this is called as a callback in JavaScript. Okay, so now let's understand it using one program in Notepad++. Okay, in program I'm going to take two numbers from user using input text box. Okay, and I am performing division operation. Simple. Now understand this concept. Okay, so this is our body tag, within which I have took two input tag. Type is equals to number, that is specified. ID is equals to number 1, number 2. Okay, titled as a callback function. After that I have took one button, okay, with a name, that is division. Okay, now let's take another paragraph. With ID is equals to, let's say, P1. Okay, now over here in this button I'm going to set on click event. Okay, on click event, whenever user will click on that button, one function will be called, and that function name is my function. Okay, now I have to pass argument for this number. That means I have to pass this number. Now if user has entered 10 and 20, then this number it should be passed as a parameter, so that my function can manipulate the data and perform a division operation. So how do we do that? We need this number. Okay, these two numbers we need. So use document dot get element by ID method. Okay, in which you need to pass ID of that particular input tag. Okay, so for first parameter ID is num1. Now using this statement, using that much statement, you access that particular object, that particular input tag. Okay, now you don't want that particular tag, but you want the value of that particular input tag. Okay, so using dot operator and value attribute, you can access value of this particular input element. Okay, so this is how you access. So this is your first parameter. Okay, now second one, document dot get element by ID. For second one it is number 2. Using dot operator, access its value. Okay, these both are argument of our function, and function is my function. Now let's define this function in our script tag. So to define function, first is function keyword, function name is my function, and there are two parameters, A and B. Okay, now if I am performing division operation, then I should take care of that B should not 0. Okay, if B is 0, then my answer it will be infinity. That's why it is not acceptable that B is 0. So I just put one condition over here, that B does not equals to 0. Okay, and alert, if B does not equals to 0, then just simple. Okay, put value B. Okay, save this and run this function. Launch and crop. Okay, enter number 1, 10, 20, division. You can see that over here we are getting 20 because 20 is not 0. If I entered 0, then there will be nothing. Okay, so now the first type is confirmed, this b is not 0, then only I should perform division operation. I should not directly perform division operation. I should first check whether b is 0 or not. Okay, now till now we have checked that yeah, b is not 0. Now inside this if statement I am going to call for another function, that is, okay, call function over here. This is my call function. Now this function that I haven't defined yet. Okay, so this function, it should be defined. Okay, first of all let me define this function. Okay, division is name of function, and over here let's perform division. Variable number is equals to a comma b, a divided by b. Okay, and document dot get element by id, and over here we are looking for p1 because p is the paragraph that we have defined over here. Okay, and where we want to display our answer, that is a divided by b is equals to like this. Inner HTML is equals to a divided by b is number. Okay, like that. Now this function you have defined very well over here, my function. Okay, this 2 argument is also passed, but how this function will be called from that side. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am passing one function itself as a parameter. Okay, which function is division. Okay, you don't need to pass argument over here, you just need to call for function, that is function name is division. Okay, that's why you also require one argument to fetch this third parameter. Okay, let's say callback. Okay, now if b does not equals to 0, then you will call for callback, if callback. Now this callback, whatever value assigned to this third argument, it should be function. Okay, if it is a function, then only there will be there is a function call. Okay, if it is not a function object, then what will happen? Then there is we cannot call that function. Okay, so over here, once we have checked that b is not equals to 0, then check for if type of callback equal function. If type of callback is equals to function, that means this is object of function. Okay, then only you will call function, that is division, with argument that is a comma b. Okay, save this and refresh this. 10, let's say 5, division. Okay, you can see that a divided by b is equals to 2, but one more correction over here. If this condition is true, that means over here, else what? Else put one alert, enter valid number. Okay, save, refresh, Okay, now see, I am going to enter 0, or you can see that enter valid number because you have entered 0. If I enter this over here 0 and this is 10, you can see that our division is 0 because 0 divided by 10, its answer is 0. So our main point is over here, you are passing function name as a parameter. You are catching this third parameter in your argument list while function defining. Okay, once you have performed certain task, you just check for function callback. If it is a type of a function, then you call this function and that particular function will be performed. Now this scenario where in which condition such kind of scenario is required. Now in a complex function, when one function I can divide it into steps, okay, and there is certain situation that you need to call that function, but if certain step has performed, then only you can call for certain another step. Okay, then only it should be performed. So over here, if b does not equals to 0, then only division should be performed. That's why we set a condition over here, and then only we call for that particular function. So this is callback functions in JavaScript.